All right. So, we are going to be learning about the French Revolution, kind of the start of it today, after we talked about the Enlightenment. Had to start you out with the Beatles, because of course the Beatles sing the song Revolution. So, we're in the 1700s of France, which in the 1700s, France is the most advanced country in Europe in terms of like industry, but they're still using some ideas that are left over from the Middle Ages, yet people are starting to listen to these enlightened philosophers. So, we're going to look at, first of all, a very famous novel by Charles Dickens. You maybe heard of him, called A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epic of belief, it was the epic of incredulity. Well, I guess you could say that could be about now, but actually, this is Charles Dickens writing about France during the French Revolution. One device that we're going to look at, take a look at this painting as what's going on. This device was used during the French Revolution, and it was a way to execute people real quickly. You've maybe heard of it before. It's called the guillotine. And you can see there's some blood going into the bucket, and then there's the head. For some reason, the French love to put heads on these little pikes or these like long sticks to parade them around. But the guillotine is going to be really important during the French Revolution. There's going to be a lot of executions through the guillotine. So in France, they had three classes of people, which were called the three estates. At the very top, of course, we just talked about absolute monarchs. So it was the king and or the queen. So in France, it's King Louis. You can see XVI. So King Louis the 16th. He's at the top. If we were in class, we'd be watching the movie Marie Antoinette. If you have the ability, watch it. One of the things when we've watched in the past, I always have students use words to describe Louis, and the word that always comes up is awkward. He's super shy, very indecisive. He's just kind of an oddball. He was only 19 when he became the king after his dad, Louis XV, had ruled for 50 years. People thought he was going to bring a new, fresh approach because France is changing. And no, he's not that way at all. We'll also talk about his wife, Marie Antoinette, this chapter as well. Poor Marie Antoinette, she had an arranged marriage with Louis, and she was only 14 years old when that marriage was arranged, and she left her home country of Austria to come be with Louis and become the Queen of France. So we'll talk about her also. Now, I mentioned the three estates, like the three classes. The first estate was the church, the clergy. As you know, France is super Catholic, so they're the highest on the social ladder. They have an enormous amount of power. They only make up 1% of the population, as you can see, and they own 10% of all the land. And then, of course, it's the church. They don't have to pay any taxes. Then you have like the second estate, which is the nobility, also known as like the aristocracy. Again, 1 to 2% of the population. They only have to pay taxes during wartime. Um, and they're the ones that would hang out at Versailles with Louis and party and all that stuff. And both the first estate and second estate are totally cool with the way things are going in France. Oh, thanks. All right. I gotta figure out. Okay,